Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece Manga Chapter 1159, The Island of Fate. I'm Akainu Fanboy. The other guy is Geboss. Please like and subscribe if you do not. Leave your comments below on the thoughts on the chapter and the thoughts on our review. So, we have a continuation of the Yamato story. The last one was peak. This one is kind of mid because there's no Moria reference in it.
True. The only thing I see of consequence in this is potentially, someone pointed out potentially in page one's sack, it kind of looks like a devil fruit. So who knows what potentially that could be.
Yeah, for sure.
But besides that,
it's weird to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. I mean, I like page one and Ulti, so I'm not really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have anything against their characters, but I'm just sick of Wano, per se. So I'm glad we're going to be moving, hopefully, soon out of this, pretty soon. But as like the memes kind of articulated, like Odin's a bum, Moria is king of the pirates, and that's basically all I want to say. Just to recap for last week.
It's true.
So,
yeah,
Odin's a terrible character.
Odin just danced like Roger just laughed, while Moria took Kaido to task and actually fought him.
Mm-hmm.
But
a true selfless man that actually sacrificed for his country, unlike Odin.
Yeah.
So,
but
now, kind
of just really quick on the cover story. This is getting close to being one of the longest cover stories.
Oh no.
Yeah, it feels like it. I haven't felt that with any of the other cover stories, but yeah.
Wasn't the Jinbei one pretty long?
Yeah, but I feel like that was more. I think because we're just sick of Wano, you know.
Yeah. For sure. So, moving on to the chapter, we're at Pirate Island 39 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what everybody more or less predicted: Shaki gets kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's upset. You see Whitebeard and Rocks in particular focus on them being upset. We see the trader with the money.
Yeah, poor Don Marlin.
Don Marlin
got to do nothing.
Got to do nothing, and then Roger's pissed off. You see some concern from Rayleigh and everything like that too. So I find this can kind of be kind of whatever interesting. Now, this next part though with Garland, dude, it's just next level twisted.
Yeah,
it's just so bad.
So yeah, I know last week we said, oh, why did he leave his baby mama at God's Valley and not take her to Mary Joie or whatever?
Yeah.
But now we know. Now we know why.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, just terrible stuff.
Yeah, but it seems like Garling's not even safe from the charm of Shaki, even though he has twins. And I guess this confirms that he is the biological dad of them.
Yes. We don't know. It's really interesting. Maybe next chapter we might see her face, but they still purposely leave her face out of the picture.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that she's red hair and everything.
Yeah, I mean, just like this is definitely a big Lydia's chapter. I don't know if he has the potential of being like a Davy bloodline or a D as well. You know, but we don't really. It's just interesting. We don't know anything about her at all. So I kind of feel like there might be a significance, especially since Shamrock and Shanks have such a big role in the series right now. So, but we do. Speaking of like useless characters and arcs, we see Dragon pop up here, and he got his first W in the series. He took down fodder civilians.
Yeah,
that's his only feat in the series.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the incident that made him a revolutionary, seeing God's Valley firsthand. But it's crazy to see how many people are converging at God's Island or God Valley. It's kind of like the Marineford of its time, kind of. You know?
So on that point, okay, one, do you think Dragon took off right after this?
So I'm trying to think, because the next time that we see him would have been, from my recollection, would have been when the Giants are rescuing the books at Ohara, which would have been like 20 years prior to the current timeline, or 22 years. So I would think that he probably would have left around this, because I think he said that he only, I think it was in the Ginny flashback, that he said he only spent a little time as a member of the Navy. And he's just, here it says that he's just a Navy sailor. He doesn't have a rank or anything. But did you think that he was going to like rise up to be an admiral or something?
The only reason I thought that was because of Akainu's hatred for him. So if he did indeed leave like shortly after this, I'm assuming that Akainu is here too, and in the same unit with him, and that they were friends together, and him leaving pissed off Akainu, basically.
I would just think that he's because he's a part of the revolutionaries. I thought that's why.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of people that speculated there was like a special hatred that he had, you know, for him in particular, because like I don't think it's out of, but like you said, everybody's showing up here, and like Akainu, Kuzan, and Kizaru, they're all like roughly, well, Kizaru is older than Dragon, so well, there's a potential that we see all of them here as well too. I don't think Kuzan, because I feel like Kuzan's moment while that the Navy was evil was more at Ohara, so there's a chance we won't see him here. But I think there's more of a chance that Akainu and Kizaru is here.
I mean,
and I think it would be kind of fitting, you know?
Yeah. Kuzan would have been 10 years old at this, so...
Okay, yeah. And is Akainu roughly the same age?
He would have been like 16. So...
Yeah, so there's a good shot of that, yeah.
I mean, how young? I mean, Kobe's part of it, and he's pretty young, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting to see Dragon with this fit on and everything like that. That
people have been saying that he looks like Gear 4 Luffy.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see more of anything from Dragon, because there's definitely theories. Particularly at the end of the chapter surrounding him, but yeah, but then we go over to how it is interesting to see how the information leaked with Ginny and Ivankov or anything in the next part. It's kind of tying everything from Kuma's flashback together, and then we get to see the goat Little News Morgans.
Well, that's what's so interesting. He has more W's than Dragon because he took out a Cypher Pole agent. We haven't seen Dragon take out anyone in the series yet except fodder civilians. So I think Big News is quite powerful.
He stopped Smoker.
Yeah, I mean, I think Big News is the higher W still at that point, you know. But very powerful, very cool to see him here.
Yeah,
I love his design, love him as a character.
I mean, it's interesting to see how old Big News Morgans is at this point.
Well, it's interesting because he was going against the world government before Dragon was.
I guess
he's a true liberator.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to Cypher Pole with information, so it's interesting that he's leaking it too. But I guess he's playing both sides, you know.
That's how he is. He's brilliant. I mean, like, it is. So when we kind of get to this next part with like, I mean, I'm not saying this is like the most riveting, emotionally powerful dialogue. Like, and I will say this as a general rule. Like, I know people are saying this is like one of the best plot sets ever. In terms of emotional value, I think this is one of like the least emotionally impactful flashback for me, personally.
I think it's more plot relevant, more so than anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the parts that actually focused on Loki and his like birth and everything and growing up, but now it's kind of just shifted into a Rock's flashback. But I mean, I guess this is the only part that we would be able to see this. But yeah, but yeah, I do think that it's kind of funny that it doesn't seem that they suspect that it was Ochoku or Wangzi or however you translate his name. They don't suspect that he was the one that betrayed them and sold off Shaki. But he's like, he seems to know, and he's like, oh, what's your source on the God Valley information? So he's like nervous about it. But I would like to have seen that kind of fleshed out more, like what exactly he did, because it seemed like Shaki and Don Marlin and everyone were pretty powerful. So I don't know how he would have been able to take them out and capture Shaki and everything. You know?
Yeah. It's hard because like Oda, I mean, I know that there's so much time he can do this stuff, but he hasn't really developed any of the characters or rock pirates. We haven't seen them really do impressive feats yet. They're alluded to. The feats are always alluded to, but they're not shown. And so we're just kind of going off the previous hype of Big Mom and Kaido and Whitebeard, as we've seen from other arcs, basically. You know, we're not seeing them. We're not seeing them being vicious. We're not seeing them being powerful. So that's why I guess like a lot of this seems like fluff to me, because it's just nothing but gags and crying, and it's like takes up more space than I care for, I guess. You know. And yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like not super impactful. Like it's good for lore building, world building, which is really good, and Oda's amazing at that. But I just don't really care much for rocks as a whole, I guess. So yeah, even though it's been built up for so long, you know.
I mean, I kind of like it more, because I mean later on we see like Rocks actually cares for his wife, or his wife and kid. So him going after Shaki seems like it's I mean, okay, do you want to get to the next part then with Harald and everything?
Yeah, you could talk about start.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it seems like we learned that that his name is Davy D. Zabek, which is interesting. And it rules out the Davy being the actual D part of the name. But yeah, it's interesting that we get this, because it kind of shows us Teach's bloodline from is even more notorious because it has both Rocks and the Davy name associated with it, being the same thing.
Sure.
But but going back to like his relationship with his family, like he Rocks is from God Valley. So it seems like he's going under the pretense of, I'm going there to rescue Shaki, but it seems, and he's doing that like for his crew as well. But it seems like he's kind of using that as a mask, like, I'm going there to kind of save my family. But what do you think about that?
I think it's a different degree there, which I'm glad that detail added, because it's more than just the Shaki, standing kind of thing. So I think it's an interesting way of bringing Blackbeard into the story, and there's like a coincidence and fate thing going on here, So I do kind of like how a lot of these elements are coming in, Now, in terms of Rox as a character, he kind of seems at this point in time like kind of like a Yasop-esque kind of character, just ditching his family, not doing anything really terribly evil in his own personal life. So he's kind of like in that tier of morality for me at this point, you know? Um, which I didn't really expect Rox to be. Like I said, I've been saying this over and over again, but I expect him to do something villainous and crappy like his son did over and over again, you know? So I wouldn't say there's like really anything unique about him so far, you know?
Well, I think that it's it's interesting writing for Oda, because it's kind of, I know we hate this with like The Last Jedi or whatever, but like he's kind of like subverting our expectations for Rox, because when we've first heard about him, he's like, oh, he's this notorious pirate who was like the same level as Gold Roger, but he was hidden from history because of all his crimes or whatever. And I mean, we do get that he was a bad guy. I mean, what was it, a couple of chapters ago they listed out all those different crimes that he did. But in terms of like this, I do feel a bit more sympathetic with him. And
yeah,
even though like he's done bad things, it seems like the government's like trying to paint him in a much worse light than he is. Almost like a Luffy type situation, you know? Even though I would say that he's more akin to probably Kid or something in terms of like carnage that he's actually done.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like, I can't really tell much of a difference between him and Roger, which may seem controversial, like in terms of their morality. Because I'm watching Marine for one right now, and I kind of feel like even Oda shifted how he treats Roger a little bit, where like we have that whole story subplot with Squardo hating Roger because Roger killed his whole crew, basically, you know? Yeah. We don't see any of that ever with Roger in any flashback at all, you know? And it would be cool to kind of get some more moral gray areas on the pirate side, because we get plenty of moral gray area on the Navy side, and I would like to see that more, you know? So sometimes I think they're too overly sympathetic.
I mean, I would say that Rox is more toward the morally gray aspect compared to like Roger.
I would need to see a little bit more, because like Captain Kuro is way more evil than Rox at this point, from what we've seen on screen, you know?
I don't. Did Captain Kuro just like injure a kid so to get his family or to get his dad's attention?
He slaughtered a butler for close to zero reason, and then he started attacking his own crew.
He didn't kill Mary.
Okay, but he sliced him up. That's
yeah.
Maybe I'm equivocating the term, but like it's still,
yeah.
You know, and I'm just saying, like, he, you know, I'd say him attacking his own crew is like more messed up, you know, than just like attacking some kid, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
There's, I think, just about every villain in One Piece is more villains, maybe like except like Alvida and Buggy, maybe like them. Those are like the only examples I can think, and so that's why I want to say he hasn't been shown as a morally gray character right now, which I think is unfortunate, because I can't really distinguish him from Roger or Whitebeard that much. But if that makes sense, like in terms of on screen what we've seen, that's what I'm trying to say.
I think it maybe in terms of like their goals, because Roger's just kind of doing whatever right now compared to Rox, who has like a goal of taking over the world, or becoming king of the world or whatever. But we haven't really we've seen him like establish Pirate Island or whatever, but we haven't seen him take concrete steps towards those goals in terms of in comparison to like Teach, you know, because Teach is always scheming in the background. But that was another point that I was going to make, that potentially I could assume that Blackbeard didn't know his dad, Rocks, especially if like he does end up dying at God Valley here. But he Blackbeard could be trying to fulfill his dad's legacy based on what the world thinks of him. You know, so he's being more evil than Rocks was.
Yeah, and that's fair. I know I understand the point of subverting your expectations, but Oda's done that like all the time, though. You know, and I feel like he's done it better though, with other instances of subverting expectations and everything like that. You know, like, I honestly think one way he did it well was at Water 7 with the Galley La crew. Seeming like cool guys with Kaku always laughing, smiling, jumping, and they turn out to be vicious assassins. And then the guy that beat the crap out of Usopp turns out to be on the crew and the good honest one. You know, I think that's like really well done, and I think it's really like emotionally engaging. I don't think Rock's subversion of expectations is really hitting me on any level, because like with him and Roger, it's just like, yeah, they both love Shaki. They both kind of want freedom, and they both basically... I can't distinguish their characters right now, to be quite honest. You know, like, they seem like roughly the same. There's like no rivalry at all. You know?
Well,
like,
I
don't know.
I wouldn't say there's no rivalry, but I feel that maybe Oda's kind of doing that intentionally, like drawing... because they're basically supposed to be... They're supposed to be rivals and kind of similar in respect to the way that the Navy views them, you know?
So it will be interesting to see how Oda sets up them fighting. Because, like, they're both doing the same goal as saving Shaki. So what's getting them to fight each other?
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. I haven't really thought about that. Like, we know that they're going to fight, or that's what we've been told. So, yeah, I don't know.
Unless Garp really did solo. Who knows? You know, but like, no, that's a joke, because, like, we know for a fact Garp and Roger teamed up. But, like I said, we don't really see any antipathy leading up to that conflict. It's been non-existent, you know? So something has to change, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. Like... Unless, like, I don't know, like we start seeing Rocks really like show his crappiness, and he tries to force Shaki, like, oh, see, I saved her, she's my wife now, kind of thing, you know, and like tries to force her into a marriage, and then they fight as a result of that.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to see more, but it looks like we're gonna get more. But before we move on to
you think we're gonna see God's Valley now? Like, basically locked in now?
I think so. I think that's what we're leading up to. But before we move on to the God's Valley portion, what did you think about Harald in this? Because there's some sort of discrepancy between the translations. Because in the unofficial one, like, it looks like he's gonna fight Rocks by himself, like saying don't interfere. But in the official translations, it says don't attack him. So it seems like he in the official translation, he's letting Rocks get away on purpose. Like, oh no, you set fire to my ship, I can't go after you. As opposed to the unofficial one, it's like he actually did lose. And I mean, if there was a fight between Harald and an actual fight between Harald and Rocks, we saw what happened last chapter. They were like clashing and knocking people back like miles and stuff. So I feel like Harald let him go on purpose.
Yeah. Also, maybe the possibility his crew could have jumped in, but we see no indication of that either. You know, I think we would have seen like a panel where they all jumped him in once, you know?
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be the case.
But I mean, for being Harald's flashback, I mean, it's kind of a letdown.
Well, it was Loki.
Yeah, Loki's flashback for Harald's flashback, Inception level stuff. But
I think Oda's in a weird place where he has to get to this end result where Rox is out here, and his whole career gets here.
Yeah.
So he has to kind of make Harald out of the story now, you know.
And he has to deliver the Davy information. I did like that aspect though. It kind of reminded me of like Whitebeard and Roger meeting with the sake cups and everything, and that's why I think it lends more credence to them, to Harald letting him go. They have some sort of respect for each other.
Yeah. And so, do you want to talk about the final section right here?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah. So I mean, just as you would kind of expect with the Celestial Dragons, and a little bit of a connection here with Boa in a way, not as like public, but you know, very similar.
I mean, I was making the thumbnail for the video, and in naming the picture, I initially called it Hancock instead of Shaggy, because she looks very similar in terms of like the dress and everything.
Well, one thing I thought was interesting, like I will say, is like Rox isn't a 1-for-1 for Blackbeard. Roger isn't a 1-for-1 for Luffy. We've known that one for a while, but like I would say even Shaggy and Hancock, it's not a 1-for-1 either, because I just rewatching Marineford and just reminded how like rude and awful and terrible she is to people, you know.
Oh yeah.
In contrast to Shaggy, you know.
Yeah.
like so. I do appreciate the difference there, and I think it's kind of refreshing. But like now, yeah, we see Garland and we see Summers and we see Gunko. Gunko, I find interesting because of the age aspect.
Yeah,
She does not look that old, like Summers.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like Summers is aging, so.
But not her.
And so is Garling. So.
Yes.
I don't know. Gunko has something going on with Emu because she's like the handmaiden of Emu that we saw like when Rock stormed the flower chamber. But
because what? This is like 39 years ago, and Brooke died. When did Brooke die?
He got lost like 50 years before or 52 at this time. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there is a possibility that Gunko is basically could have like known Brooke for all we know, like way back then, because we're not seeing her age at all. You know, she could have been like around forever. You know,
I think that's a definite.
Yeah. And now, so we see Dragon come across the whole, which I understand with Dragon's radicalization, seeing this part of it too, just seeing. I mean, I guess he would find out this is like Garland's former wife and everything, you know?
Yeah. Initially, when I first read it, I thought it was Teach's mother.
Same. Yeah.
Which was, I went on this thing. It was like, oh, she says, get the children off the island. It's like, oh, so Blackbeard has a sibling, but but Garling having it being Garling's wife makes much more sense. And then and then we see baby Teach.
Yes. So I will say, like, this really, like, one Teach looks like a young Brooke a little bit here. But I do think it is kind of interesting that Dragon potentially dropped the ball again, because Garland turned out so bad, you know.
Yeah. So
sorry, you go.
I was gonna say there's a theory going around that that he's responsible for saving Shanks, at least, and putting him in the treasure chest that he's found in, but with the Roger Pirates, because there's the big double spread, and we see all the prizes. We see Shaki, and we see all the devil fruits there. I think there are 9 devil fruits there. We know 2 of them, which are the pawpaw fruit and Kaido's fruit. So there's a theory that it's like, oh, well, Dragon ate one of the fruits and placed Shanks in the chest, and that's how Shanks got the chest. And that could potentially be like the wind powers. And then there's an extension of that saying like, oh, he used his wind powers to like send the chests somewhere, and they ended up with Roger, and the other one got intercepted by Garling or whatever. But
I find it weird because like if Garland really cared about his kids, he just would have grabbed them, kind of thing. So
yeah,
I think like if a baby flew on the ship, you would just throw it overboard because it's just like the type of person he is, you know.
I don't know. He seems at least interested with extending his bloodline. The mother doesn't seem to matter that much though.
So wouldn't he just take the kids right off the rip though?
Maybe they're safe. Maybe they're not even part of the hunt. I don't know. Or maybe he doesn't even care about this family, like these children at all. And maybe since we know that Shaki doesn't gets rescued, at least she's not captured by the celestial dragons, maybe he's like, oh well, at least I can salvage something from this, and he gets at least Shamrock.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, and then we kind of get to the Davy clan thing. As a super rare rabbit in this contest, we have another target who's been found. So there is a recognition of the Davy clan, and it goes back to 800 years. So we have like the Buccaneer clan, the Davy clan, and yeah. So, and then the D's are also an aspect of that too. So find it interesting and cool. I think that's a great way to develop it, and I'm wondering just to see how things carry off from here on out.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to actually see what happens at God Valley now, because I think this would be the only time that we could have that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, because we have to see, as you said, the Shank resolution here and the Shamrock resolution, which is pertains a lot to the current story. And I guess we will have to see how Loki reacts to the aftermath of this. Because I guess this is still technically his story, and how Herald is going to be taken care of, and then Herald's wife. So all those things we kind of have to be seen and shown still. So, like Oda could skip it, but I think it's more likely it's going to happen now because we have to see what leads up to them fighting. Like, because right now it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So,
glad that
cool.
I'm glad that you pointed that out, because yeah, we need to see, because I mean the only thing would be like the slaves. Like I don't know why, like Roger would have to be like siding with keeping the slaves with Garp, you know? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it has to be shown for the sake of the whole story. Like I know, like whether it's like Akainu versus Kuzan or Kaido versus Kaido versus Shanks. That's stuff that doesn't necessarily have to be shown for the story. You know, we saw it resolved and that's it. This kind of does. There's a lot of plot lines linked to this where it's going to need to be shown.
Yeah. But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. Thoughts on the chapter, thoughts on our review, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
See ya.